Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
You want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead. If I sit next to you, I'm going to get gonorrhea. It's going to jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into the...
I think you know.
We're such professionals.
We really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
I'm Amy with a Y.
And I'm Amy with an I.
And we're just two blueberries floating in a bowl of tomato soup. You are listening to episode, I believe, 38 of Secular Soup. That sounds about right. God, it's been so long since I was 38. I can't remember what it was like anymore. Tonight we are, Amy's still 27. So
that's right.
You got a ways to go before you get to 38.
Right. I'll let you know what it's like.
Yeah. So we tonight are going to talk about the Handmaid's Tale, and more specifically kind of the TV show, because books are great, but TV shows are even better. So that's kind of what we wanted to talk about. But before we get to that, I made a handy dandy little list of things that I didn't want to forget to mention, because every time we record this show, I have shit that I forget to mention. So because people
we even say, remind me to talk about this specific thing. And then both of us are just like, blah, 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 blah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know,
and then something
boobs,
comes up and
cervix, whatever we talk about.
Shiny
blah, blah,
objects
blah,
appear.
Kids,
yeah.
And then nothing.
It's usually a shiny object catches my attention, right. And then I just can't. I forget everything I was supposed to mention.
Yeah. Nothing important.
Funny. Dick jokes, dicks on bowls. That's it. So,
I mean, dicks for bowls.
So yes, the community announcements I would like to make are, for those of you that didn't notice or aren't following us on the social medias, we did our drunk cast, our live drunk cast on YouTube. We got to 25 patrons on our Patreon.
I need to go back and watch that because I don't remember a thing.
I still haven't watched it, and I remember parts of it, but then there are...
I remember my boyfriend came in. He made an appearance on the show, which is cool because he's cute.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all I remember. And he was telling us that there was running comments on the YouTube channels, and we didn't know that was going on. They're like, do they know? And so he came in and told us about it.
And then he got in trouble for telling us.
Yeah, they were like, why are you telling him? And he was like, he said something about defending our honor or something. I don't know.
I remember leaving to pee at least twice, and I completely blacked out our entire conversation with John Willis because I remember him coming on camera,
honestly,
and I don't remember any of it.
For everybody's benefit.
That's true. So now I don't know if I want to watch it because that means I'm going to remember what it was we talked about. And I remember most of the stuff with Larry because that was fairly early on. But by the time we got to John, I don't know what the fuck we talked about.
30 minutes, but it was like they sat down and then they were gone. I was like, what is happening? It was so fast.
And I do remember at one point, Hertzy messaging me to say, do you have the camera stuck on I think it was stuck on Marissa. Because, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't know if I hit any buttons. I don't know what I'm doing. I must have hit a button, but
yeah, you hit a button. Because my gentleman caller said the same thing, that it was like stuck on Marissa for a while.
Yeah, and even though it's supposed to just go back and forth based on who's talking, but then... Right. Yeah, so I fucked that up.
Yeah, we had fun with Rich and John and, Hertzy and Larry. It was fun.
Whoever else showed up that we forgot about because we were drunk. It was a good time. Marissa Ashley was there. Remember that?
I remember Ashley.
Yes, we talked to Ashley. We saw our 14th favorite Rich's kids. They seemed cool. So, yeah, if you haven't checked that out, go to our YouTube channel. Just go on the YouTubes, look up Secular Soup. You'll find our channel. Live Drunkcast. It's there. It's funny. One of these days when I get really bored, I'm going to rewatch it just so I can remember all the shit that happened. And I didn't even tell you this, but on our Patreon, I set a new goal that when we get to 50 patrons, we'll do Live Drunkcast, the sequel.
Oh, nice.
So now we've got something new to work towards. So when we got to 25, we did the Drunkcast. Now when we get to 50 patrons,
we were issued some drinking challenges from some of the people on our show.
Yes.
Hertzy issued me some drinking challenges. I don't know. I think we should probably broadcast that as well. Honestly,
for sure. Yeah.
I think we should just broadcast the drinking challenge with Hertzie. I don't know what the intentions behind the
I think
drinking
it's
challenge.
From what I gathered, Hertzie is really her sense of self-worth rests on her ability to hold a lot of liquor. And so she really just wants to show you up and have some bragging points.
I was so wasted, but I don't think it showed.
I don't think so either. Like, I can't tell the difference between wasted Amy with an eye and regular Amy with an eye. So
I remember, I know the next day because I can remember the evening or I can't.
Oh, so that's how you can tell.
I've only had 2 nights ever in my entire history of drinking that I have fuzzy moments. And one was the drunk cast, and the other one was a 4th of July pool party where some hell
shit
bitch
went down. Yeah.
showed up, and I just kept slamming drinks to avoid talking to people or picking a fight. So
yeah. I just remember my son telling me that I sounded weird afterwards, and my husband laughing at me going, "That's because she's drunk." And then my son ratting me out to my mom. So my mom called me to say, "Were you drinking in front of your children?"
I went and made popcorn. And
fun.
We ate popcorn and watched, I can't even remember what we watched. Probably Miranda. What we do as an old married couple, apparently, is what I am at this point.
Yeah.
Which I'm not married nor, old.
Right.
What we do is we hang out, we eat snacks. I have like a beer. He doesn't drink, really. And so we hang out and watch British sitcoms. That is what we do. Miranda on Hulu. Seriously. I've watched the entire show like 3 times now. It is so fun. And now I've introduced it to him, and he'll come home from work and he's like, "Hey, can we watch Miranda?" I'm like, "Yes, we can, sir. Absolutely, we can watch Miranda."
Yes, anytime. Miranda's. I've never seen that one. I'll have to check that out.
Dude. Okay, so did you watch Midwives?
Yeah.
Call the Midwife?
Call the Midwife, yep.
Okay, she played the one that fell in love with the cop. She's like the taller lady.
Oh, yes.
Kind of awkward looking.
Oh, God,
like
now
awkward.
I can't remember her name on the show, but yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
So that's Miranda Hart is the actress. And she's a comedian, and she is so freaking funny. She's like the queen of deadpan. She falls over a lot. She ends up in her bra and panties all the time because her clothes just, like, she'll be standing next to a conveyor belt and her clothes will get ripped off or something. Like, it's just so fun. She's funny.
Chummy was her name on Call the Midwife.
Chummy was her name. Yes. And she fell in love with the Bobby.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they made an adorable fucking couple.
Such a cute couple.
And if you have never seen Call the Midwife, watch Call the Midwife, people, because it is amazing.
I only watched the first 3 seasons.
I think I still need to watch the 5th season.
When the main lady left, I kind of...
It got kind of weird after that, but definitely the first couple of seasons are good.
So good. But yeah, so Miranda, I watched Call the Midwife first. And then I was like, who are these actresses? And Chummy's my favorite and blah, blah, blah. And then I found that she had a show and it was on Hulu. So I watched it the first time and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I'll always give British sitcoms a shot.
Oh, I'll give British anything a shot. Okay, so the rest of... I still have more announcements to make here, now that we've wandered dangerously off course.
No, I don't see how.
No. We also did a guest appearance on the Embrace the Void podcast, very classy podcast that we went on and ruined, as we do. So check out Embrace the Void. We talk about dark parenting issues. So...
Yeah, that one was hard.
It was kind of more serious. It was still funny, but yeah, there was some darkness going on because it's Embrace the Void, and that's what they do is voidy dark stuff. So
I liked it though. I did like it.
It was
and
fun.
I enjoyed talking about more serious issues rather than,
I do too sometimes,
British women losing their pants, which is also fun.
Yeah, and serious. It's a serious problem, I heard.
It's a serious issue. It's a dilemma.
So. Yeah, I also want to shout out to our new patrons because I feel like I keep forgetting to do this, and we have a few new ones, so I'm excited. So I want to mention it right off the bat. We just found out today that we got a new $10 a month patron, which is amazing.
Thank you.
So Randall is our new $10 a month patron. Thank you so much, Randall. So he will be getting a soup bowl. Not right away. I'm going to wait a little bit.
She'll take her time.
Because, yeah, people like Amy's boring sister have a history of signing up for that level, getting their bowl, and then fucking us over. So, we love you, Amy's boring sister. You're infinitely better than my dickish brother.
Mine too.
And then the Dumb All Over podcast. What? they're giving us money now, which means we're winning all the podcast feuds. So thank you, Dumb All Over Podcast. Also, my friend Sarah, who's fucking amazing and I love. She's someone that, honestly, when you meet her, she has the best, kindest, most genuine smile you will ever see on a human being in your entire life.
Aww.
So she is just an amazing person and I love her. And she is a new patron. She's been listening to our show at work. So, and I don't know if we mentioned on the last episode, but Wayward Willis is also giving us money now. So again, winning all the podcast feuds. I'm hoping they don't give you Crohn's disease through the internet by being patrons.
I think they might, though.
But you should watch out for that. And I found out they give people atomic space herpes.
I already have that.
That's a thing. Also,
I got that, day one on Tinder.
Obviously. That's why you got to stay off Tinder. It's all the space herpes.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
All right, fine. Also, our former producer, Marissa Alexa McCool, has become a patron, which is fucking awesome.
She's awesome.
I think she did it just to push us over that 25 patrons so that we would be forced to do the live drunk cast. So thank you for making me drink, Marissa. Jesus Christ. She just forced me to get drunk and traumatize my children. But yes, we appreciate that. My kids are like,
what is it, Tuesday?
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, those are our new patrons. If you hang out to Leanne, maybe I'll tell you all the other patrons too, because they're all awesome. But I need to get through this list because I'm trying to focus and not get distracted by shiny objects. So patrons. Okay, the next thing I have written here is review us, which means I want to remind people to fucking review us on iTunes.
It makes a so difference. Easy. It really does.
Go on the iTunes, write a review. I have not checked lately to see if we have any new ones because frankly, I'm lazy and it didn't occur to me till right now.
Okay, excuse me. So you're pushing people to do this
without
you don't even
checking to see if they did it or not.
Okay, cool. So, no, I did the same thing with my kids. Clean your room. I'm assuming they haven't.
Right. But who has time to go check?
On evidence. It's like 10 feet down the hall. I'm not going to do that.
And I just found out today that Twitter now no longer auto posts to Facebook, which means I'm going to have to post things twice, which just doubles the amount of time I have to spend. So
you can't check a box.
Nope. You used to be able to. Yeah. My kids are banging on the ceiling now. So if anybody hears any loud things, it's okay. My house isn't being bombed. It's just my kids being dicks.
Send them to their other parent's house. That's what I did.
Great idea. Oh, wait. The other parent is also upstairs and not monitoring them banging on the floor. So
just kidding.
So yeah, review us. If you can't do the iTunes thing, fine. Review us wherever you're listening to us or go onto our Facebook page and review us there because that would be awesome. Thank you. And then we could bring our rating.
Leave us a funny review.
Well, a funny review is great. And then it would bring up our average because we still have that 1-star review on Facebook from that one dick who didn't like us because we make fun of cognitive dissonance. So,
I mean, cognitive dissonance makes fun of themselves. Have they heard cognitive dissonance?
Yeah, it's not a job to make fun of cognitive dissonance. Like, if you're here to not hear cognitive dissonance get made fun of, then find another podcast because we can't help ourselves.
I don't even know who you are anymore then.
It's just part of our personality. We can't help it. So the last thing on my little checklist here is I would really like for people to, hit us up and let us know what some good patron rewards would be for Patreon. So what are things that you would like to see us do if you were to sign up and become a patron? What would some good rewards be? I know a lot of people do Google Hangouts where if you become a patron,
hang out with you.
Yeah,
we've been told that our podcast is like hanging out with your girlfriends and having a good conversation. Mm-hmm. You guys could be our friend for the day.
We could do that in real life. I mean, we're going to forget about you the minute that live chat's done. But for the, hour that we're doing it, we could pretend to be your best friend. So that's all we're saying.
Oh my God, I can't even with that.
We're really good at faking it. This is, we pretend to be each other's friend every week.
Oh yeah, I don't even know who she is.
Yeah, no. See, but this is how good we are at faking friendships. So
yeah, I don't even like her.
Yeah. So if that's something
I didn't call her 3 times today talking about my life.
Of course not. Yeah. I loved that the first one opened up with, so you know how you're basically a certified life coach? That made me laugh so hard.
I was trying to get permission to quit my job. I was like, I can quit my job, right? And she was like, do it. And so then I texted my boyfriend, the same scenario. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, you should quit your job. I'm like, I can't. And so I didn't.
Yeah.
But I don't listen to anybody either.
So you asked for advice from 2 trusted sources and then didn't follow that advice?
And the thing is both of you actually always give me really sound advice. And he's not encouraging me to be crazy or reckless or anything, because he knows the state of my affairs and he knows what my life looks like. So I called in ish. I was already at work, but I left work early to go to job interviews.
Yeah.
So that way I bought myself some time.
Yeah. Like, you're not being totally irresponsible. It's just you can't deal with the crushing, horrible stress of the current job. So
the company I work for it's basically run by the devil, only not cool.
Yeah.
Right. I've never worked in a job that crushed me more as a human person.
I heard they don't approve of your affair with Donald Trump.
No, and I need people to be supportive of my life.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I think that is all I have on my handy little list. Why doesn't he just give me
money for all of the sex?
Because honestly, he doesn't have any. He just pretends he does. But
that sounds like everybody I dated on Tinder.
Right? That's kind of the go-to for guys, I think, is to pretend like they have money. I literally have no money, so I'm not lying to you about that.
I was going to go to the store today and get like a grocery money, but apparently a bill got paid, which is stupid.
Oh, God.
And so I don't have any money until Friday, so I'm like, cool.
Yeah, you can eat sunshine, right? That's a thing, no? Oh, man. So, yeah, that's my little checklist. But The Handmaid's Tale.
Great show.
Good show. Okay, well, good discussion. I'll see you next week.
I really liked the hats.
Yes. I want to get a hat just like that, because then I wouldn't have to see the people around me.
They called them wings, which I liked.
Well, I think, isn't that what they call them on nuns, too? Like when nuns are wearing them, aren't they called wings? I don't know anything about nuns.
They don't have any...
Full disclosure.
Okay, hold on. There's a pun in this for you.
Oh God.
Trivia about habits is none your business.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm not right off the top of my head. It's just like it was. Okay. All right.
You know, now that Embrace the Void found out that I hate puns, all they've been doing is posting things on Twitter that are puns and adding me at them. So
my gentleman caller was so excited because he found this pun. It was cute. He was so excited. And he was like, send it to Amy first thing in the morning. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to send it to Amy first thing in the morning. He's like, we're Facebook friends. I'll send it to her. I'm like, okay, dude. And I sent it to you. I'm like, I'm real sorry. He was excited about it. And you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And you're like, never mind. I see it.
Yeah. Because I checked my messenger and I saw 2 messages. And obviously.
It was so cute though, because he was so excited. He was like, I'm going to send it to Amy. Don't send it. I'm going to send it. I'm like, I wasn't going to, bro.
Honestly, what I thought first was, is she drunk? Like, what is she talking about? Am I supposed to get this reference? And then as I'm waiting for you to reply, I go, well, I'll go check that other message. And then I saw the pun and went, oh, yeah. So, yeah, I sent your gentleman caller a response back saying he's a garbage person. Frankly, liking puns makes you a garbage person. I'm not going to apologize for that. So
yeah, and plus, you can tell how a person is by the company they keep.
That is true.
And he hangs out with me.
He's dating you.
Obviously.
He doesn't just hang out with you. He is with you. And
hangs out in me? What are you talking about?
That makes him very sketchy. So,
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Back to The Handmaid's Tale.
Jeez. And wings?
14th Favorite Rich suggested that we explain to people what The Handmaid's Tale is. And I told him that if people don't know what The Handmaid's Tale is, we can't help them. There's just no hope for those people. Right. But if you're someone listening to this podcast and you have just no fucking idea what The Handmaid's Tale is, here's a very brief primer. It is a book by Canadian author Margaret Atwood, who is amazing. And it's about a dystopian future where women are basically chattel for breeding children.
Mormon church. Got it.
Right. And then there was a fantastic TV series on Hulu based on this book that's been out for 2 seasons now. So what we're going to be talking about is more the TV show than the book.
The book was good, but the season 1 ended where the book ended.
Right. So,
but then she's been not a correspondent. She's been actively involved in the making of season 2. And she said that it's going in the direction that she kind of wanted things to go.
Right. So,
or where she always imagined it would go.
Yeah. So they're staying really true to her vision.
She's a consultant on the show. And Season 2 was phenomenal.
It really was.
I was blown away by season 2, actually. And I'm really, the commander and his wife, the direction they took them, I think that's probably the commander's wife, the biggest character arc ever.
Yeah. Well,
like, I hated her. I hated her. Serena Joy. In the book, she's Serena Joy.
Yeah. By the way, all the spoiler alerts. If you haven't seen all of the Handmaid's Tale yet,
spoiler alert for
don't listen. Just go away because we're not going to.
Also, we're going to talk about The Sixth Sense just for fun. No,
okay. All right.
But no, it's, Serena Joy. I hated her in the book. She was awful. And she's awful in the movie or in the show too. She's terrible. But you kind of understand where she's coming from because she's a product of her environment as well.
Yeah. And part of the thing that's interesting about where they took her is that she is one of these people that back before in pre-Gilead days, she was a speaker and she did have a career that was based on telling
she's one of the designers of the world.
Right. She reminds me of Phyllis Schlafly, who is somebody who went out and had a career and traveled, and her whole career was based on telling other women not to have careers and not to go outside the home. And so she's doing this thing that she's telling other women not to do, and she's building a career on that.
And then she has to live it because she's forced into this world.
Yeah, sadly, Phyllis Schlafly never had to do that. But yeah, Serena Joy then has to practice what she had been preaching.
And she is resentful and she hates it.
And she starts to realize, I think, oh, fuck.
And she's not gifted the baby that she thought would be her reward by God. She honestly believed, I think, because she was a religious person, that if she did what was right and she got others to do what was right according to the truth and the gospel, then she would be granted a miracle of birth.
Right.
And she's infertile.
Right. And so now she's in this position where she's taking somebody else's baby, and I think she's having mixed emotions about it, because especially when she has that friend of hers that doesn't have a baby, but forcibly takes a baby from her handmaid, and she doesn't really treat the baby very well and just seems to not enjoy having the baby. And Serena Joy is like, I would do anything to have that baby, and here she has one and she doesn't appreciate it. And it's just such a fucked up situation all the way around.
It really is.
I did get a tweet. So earlier today, I put out that we were going to talk about the Handmaid's Tale and wanted to see if anyone had any specific questions or ideas they wanted us to touch on. And so my favorite dude, Andy, sent a tweet, and I'm just going to read his tweet because So he said, June seems attracted to windows and bad decisions. That's the first part of his tweet. I think he is
not untrue.
I think he's totally right. She makes a lot of, she's always hanging out by windows. She falls out of a window at some point. And yeah.
I think she does, doesn't she?
Yeah. And bad decisions. If you listen to the Read All Over podcast, which is a fantastic Handmaid's Tale podcast that everybody should listen to, and I love the hosts of it, they talk a lot about just June's decision making and how, although she's in the shittiest of positions, there's a lot of times where you're just like, stop, dude, what are you doing? You're about to get caught. Just not, when she's like making eyes at Nick or kind of openly flirting with Nick in a room where other people could walk in and see you.
Kissing him. There's one time where she's kissing him, or another time where he's like rubbing her stomach. I'm like, dude.
Yes, it's like, you're going to get caught in about 2 seconds and murdered.
And the commander actually saw it once.
Yes.
Which ended up it caused another issue, which was awful and disgusting and horrible.
Yeah, it's just like be more careful. Come on. We want you to make it through this. So yeah, the next part of his tweet just says, Yvonne Strahovski is our queen. So Yvonne Strahovski is the actress that plays Serena Joy. Oh,
she's fantastic.
Yeah.
For a second, because I have, I don't know if I officially have facial blindness, but I honestly can't tell people apart at all. I'll introduce myself to someone. If I ever meet anyone at a convention and we're Facebook friends, I'm real sorry if I don't recognize you.
I'm not going to either.
Well, I literally introduce myself to people that I have known for 5 years at my kids' schools and stuff because they're wearing a different shirt or they cut their hair or something's changed because I use context clues to piece together that that's someone I know until I know them. Like I recognize my children. I recognize family members. I recognize gentleman caller. You know, I recognize people, but it takes me a long time to recognize people.
I kind of do that too, though. I mean, and I'm just
like, I'm not someone that I'll be watching a movie and someone has completely different things. And they're like, oh, that's Brad Pitt. I'm like, no, it isn't. I will argue with you till I'm like blue in the face. And then I'll IMDb it. I'm like, you won this round.
Okay, well, I'm not that bad. And we could have tons of arguments about that because I'm
real bad. Yeah. Like really bad. So I thought that was Portia de Rossi.
Portia de Rossi. Oh, yeah.
Because they look similar.
Yeah.
I mean, blonde-ish and hot. But nah, it's not the same person. It's the chick from Chuck.
And she was on Dexter. She had a whole long arc
she was
on
the white
Dexter.
t-shirt, black bra chick.
Yes.
She was real classy with the white t-shirt, black. Okay, Dexter spoilers. That pissed me off. He would never, why did it end like that? He would never in a million years leave his baby with someone he knew was a murderer.
Yep. Yeah, the Dexter ender was terrible.
Because he would never. That does not make sense for his character. He would protect, even if he trusted her, even if he cared about her, he would honestly never leave his kid with anyone.
No.
Ever. He would never.
I remember watching the final episode of Dexter and just being like, are you
kidding me?
This is ridiculous right now. What
show
are you
was
doing?
Fantastic from beginning to almost end.
Yeah, and not even like the final episode wasn't terrible. It's like the last 5 minutes are just bullshit. Yeah.
I agree.
I'm glad we agree on this.
The whole show was great, though. The whole show was great. The only show I agree with from beginning to end was 6 Feet Under.
I was just thinking the exact same thing.
Ever written, ever. So good.
Best series finale of any show ever made ever.
I was bawling my eyes out and I was so happy and just,
Sometimes
good.
I go on YouTube and I watch the last 10 minutes of the last 6 Feet Under just to make myself feel something.
You know what show I watched the last 10 minutes of so often?
What?
Is the movie, it's a miniseries, North and South.
Oh, yeah.
The last 10 minutes with the trains that cross and she gets off and he gets off and they see each. That touches my cold, dead black heart.
Yes.
And I start bawling and then I'm happy. And then it's just, first of all, the entire miniseries is fantastic. The book is great. All of it's great. But the last 10 minutes is probably one of the best endings of a romantic movie ever.
Yeah, the moral of the story is we both watch way too much fucking TV. And it's the only thing that gives us any joy or makes us feel anything. So, is that bad? I don't know. You tell us. Is that terrible?
I work from home and I hate my job and I'm not really super happy with other parts of things too. So,
TV is a wonderful escape. I only got 2 sentences into Andy's tweet here. I'll keep going. So he also says,
how are we possibly going to pass time? I don't know. We don't know. We don't have a plan.
Before we started recording, we were like, what are we going to, I mean, this isn't going to last a whole episode. I don't know, but I also said, it'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
We always know it'll be okay.
Yeah. So he says, I'm glad they're fleshing out the world of the book, but I think they should open in the shining future where Gilead is an academic debate, explore that world, and then jump between point of views.
That's interesting.
Which would be interesting, if they skipped way ahead to post-Gilead, where people are discussing it as, like he says, an academic debate.
I hope that it makes it to like 4 or 5 seasons in where we get to see Gilead fall.
I do too.
Or at least like a fight, because it's already gearing up for some kind of war,
like a revolution of some kind,
right? And I'm really excited about that. So the bread delivery guy, broke my heart.
Oh God, I know.
That just full on broke my heart.
And like, you knew the minute that was starting that it was going to end badly. At least I did.
She have?
Yeah.
What choice did she have?
Yeah, it's just a world of shitty.
What choice did he have? I mean.
Here's one thing that kind of doesn't bug me about the show, but I wish they would explore more is, they're great about having these flashbacks, but clearly when you're watching it, people have not aged much. So this entire thing happened in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And I get that that's entirely possible, but I don't know, part of me feels like it just radically changed too quickly for me to like.
Did it though? I mean, it did, but did it?
I mean, you can argue that. I like how they go back and show the things with, making it
Like
so that
her work.
Yeah, her work. And all of a sudden one day you can't have a bank account if you're a woman. And so they're going through that. And so there are these little changes that
Where
happen.
would all my negative money go?
Oh, you would.
Who
I'm guessing
would get access to my negative funds?
maybe Donald Trump would have to take on your debt then. I don't know how that works. But yeah, they start off with, women can't have birth control without having their husbands sign off on it. So they do show these little changes, but it's like, how in the space of a year or two do we go from those little changes
I don't think
to...
it was a year or two. I think it was close. I think it was more like 5. Well, no, because her daughter.
Yeah, I mean, her daughter is like 5 years old, but
Well, I think she's a little older. I think she's supposed to be like 8 or 7 or 8.
And I don't remember. I haven't read
But she
the
was
book in so
supposed to
long.
be like
but
4 or 5 when they took her.
yeah, I mean, we're talking only a couple of years to go from these little changes to all of a sudden red robes and everything blocked off. And
people say that we're heading that direction. I don't think it's that drastic, but we're definitely heading in a direction where women are rapidly we are losing our rights that we've fought hard to.
I think it's a bit hyperbolic to say that we're going to be in Gilead tomorrow. Like, I do think that's a bit of hyperbole.
I have plans tomorrow. I can't.
Yeah, and I look really good in red. I am just going to say that. I do
not look good in red. I'm too Swedish. I get pink cheeks.
Yeah, but you would look really good in that nice aqua color, so you would make a good wife.
Well, yeah, I can't have babies anyways.
Yeah, you're not going to get to be a handmaid. So you're either going to be an Econo wife or a commander's wife.
I want to be an aunt. I want to be an aunt.
Oh, you would be such a good aunt. Oh, yeah. You could rock that position.
I wear black well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I could make a good commander's wife and just be bitchy to everybody all the time. And I really want the cape. I want that aquamarine cape that they get to wear because I've secretly always wanted to wear a cape.
Cool.
Right?
I want to wear a cape all the time.
Me too. So, I mean...
And I know what they said in The Incredibles, that they get cotton turbines and stuff. I get it.
No capes!
I get it. I get it. But I still want to
But they look so badass. And I know that to be a wife, I would have to subjugate an entire other group of women. And
I mean, it's about time.
Be part of their ritual rape. But I'd get a cape. I'd get a cape is what I'm saying.
Okay, you're right. No, you sold.
Right? So, and I can be very passive aggressively bitchy to the other wives when we're having our fake friendships. I can do that. And
okay, so the wives all hanging out. It's interesting to me because they're none of them are happy.
No, not really.
I mean, no one in that world is happy. None of the wives, none of the husbands, none of the handmaids. No one's happy.
I feel like the dudes that go to that Jezebel's place are happy while they're there.
Absolutely.
Probably not happy all the time, but...
No.
Yeah.
So they're not happy. The wives are not even friends with each other.
No.
But the handmaids are at least reaching out to each other. So my favorite scene in the entire second season was in the grocery store when they were telling each other their names.
Yes.
When they were like, my name's Jody, by the way. My name's this, by the way. And they were all just kind of whispering because it was that little bit of rebellion where they were just revealing a part of who they are, like them.
Yeah.
That's them. This is not who I am. I'm not off Fred. I'm not off George. You know?
Do you feel like, because I know in the past you've talked about when you were Mormon and having kind of these forced friendships where you would be forced to, you'd be like assigned friends. Do you feel like that's kind of the same dynamic as the wives?
Well, okay. So we were assigned friendships sort of in pairs. So absolutely. We always had to be, it was visiting teaching where I was given a list of women that I was supposed to visit every month. And then I was visited by people every month. And absolutely. It's not only I had to act a certain way. You have this accountability. Your partner keeps you in check because they'll call you and ask you if you went, and they'll ask if you went alone or with your partner. And they're asking them the same thing. So it's checking in on your
It's a good way to kind of keep you submissive and keep you in the system.
It creates a little unit. So there's like the 3 people that you visit, and then your companion, and then the people that come to you, those two people. that becomes the people that you talk to every month. So it kind of becomes your support system, kind of becomes your friend system. And they try to make it, different ages, different demographics. So it kind of crosses across, you're not just talking to the people whose kids are in the same class as your kids. Mm-hmm. In that regard, it's good because you get to meet people that aren't people you typically talk to. Mm-hmm. Like it's the woman that works all the time, or it's the grandma or whatever.
But do you get capes?
I did get cakes. I got cakes very often.
Not cakes. Capes.
Oh.
Capes. Did you get a fancy cape that you got to wear?
I did not get a cape. Okay. I had underwear that I had to wear, though, but I didn't.
And they were magical, weren't they?
Yeah, but I never wore them, so I missed out on the magical properties.
That's where you went wrong. That's why you're not Mormon anymore, frankly. I'm just figuring this out now. You refused to wear the magic underwear, and
most likely
now you're a heathen. How about that fucking birth scene when June gives birth?
So brutal.
Oh my God! Just watching that.
The thought of having to do that.
Oh God!
Is just and then she was. But the thing is, she was so close.
Mm-hmm.
She was
that scene where she's trying to get the garage door open and she's in the car and then
she just her water breaks or she goes into labor and she knows she's like fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking fuck.
Yeah.
Because there's no way. She knows that the only way she's gonna survive is if she calls for help.
Yep. And just the brutal, bloody, one thing that really annoys me about most TV shows when they're doing any kind of birth scene is how sanitary it is. And, the woman, she'll be kind of panting and sweating, but you never see the blood. And they'll show, she's 2 minutes later.
No one ever tells you that you're probably going to poop yourself.
Well, and besides that, they're always holding the baby afterwards, but you don't see blood all over the fucking bed.
Those are things that aren't talked about. I had C-sections, so,
Yeah.
I avoided that, but no one talks about that either.
Well, and I remember after giving birth, the whole bottom part of the bed is just soaked in blood because you're just bleeding. There's no...
You hope it's all blood. You're sure it's not, though.
Yeah. It's blood and goo and poop and amniotic fluid. It's disgusting. And
it's gross.
You're so used to seeing these sanitized versions of what birth is. And so, it's kind of nice to see somebody on TV show how disgusting birth actually is and scary and lonely and painful and oh God. And just watching it was like, oh, you just feel so...
because of my facial thing that I explained that I do. I don't know exactly how to get... I know it probably doesn't even matter if it's diagnosed or whatever, but I don't recognize faces. Mm-hmm. So because the guy that got in the plane with her had dark hair... Mm-hmm. I thought it was Nick this entire time.
The guy that got in the plane with her. Now I'm trying to remember.
It wasn't Nick.
Oh, that was season 1, wasn't it?
No, it was season 2.
That was
the beginning of season 2.
It's been a while since I watched it.
It was when she was escaping and she was getting away the first time.
Oh, yes. I remember.
And this is after she stayed with the bread guy.
Yeah.
Whatever. She was getting away. Mm-hmm. So the guy, some random dude gets in the plane. He had dark hair.
Right.
I assumed it was Nick.
Yeah.
But they were pretending, I thought they were pretending to not know each other because that was safer.
Oh.
Whatever. But then she got, she got recaptured, whatever. They go back, the plane gets shot down, he gets killed, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, well, that sucks. Nick's dead.
Yeah.
She shows up at the house and Nick's there. I'm like, wait.
What
who
just
was in
happened?
The plane? This causes a lot of confusion in my brain because if there's a blonde, I think she's the same person. If there's a redhead, I think it's the same person. It's just...
I feel like there was so much confusion anyway with Nick. Just when he
doesn't look like how I thought he would.
No, and he's kind of a boring character.
Not really cute either.
No.
Yeah.
And maybe he's supposed to be really boring, but he creeps me out a little bit. I think he's
supposed to be safe.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. He's just...
And it's crazy that the commander knows that the baby's Nick's.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy to me.
But I don't think he will do anything about it because it's all about looks at this point. It's all about appearances.
Tried.
Well,
he did try.
That's true.
That was bad. The young girl.
Oh my God. What's her name? Eden?
Oh, that made me sick to my stomach.
Oh my God. They, kudos though to the casting in that show. They found someone that looked like she was supposed to be as young as she was. I think the actress was actually over 18, but man, she just looked like a baby. I I see that and I think my son is 14 and that's just a baby still.
And you felt so bad for her because she was trying so hard to be the person she was taught she was supposed
that
to
she was
be.
raised her whole life to be. And
I get that. That resonated with me because I lived so many years trying to be the person I was raised to be.
Well, and then she falls in love with this other dude and she's 15. So of course she has this romantic idea of what it means to run away and to just not realize what the actual consequences of that are going to be. And then her fucking dad turns her in.
Oh, that was awful. Spoilers.
Oh, yeah. We said at the beginning all the spoilers. So,
I know.
You know what?
We could talk about Harlots too, since no one's listening to us at this point.
That's true. Harlots is amazing. I just finished watching it this morning.
I just started season 2. Wow.
I just finished season 2 this morning because I realized I forgot. Yeah. So good. It gets even gnarlier.
It started out, season 1 was good. Mm-hmm. Season 2 is really ramping up.
Oh, yeah. And by the time they end season 2, I won't spoil this one because you haven't seen it yet. And you're the only person I care about, not the people listening. But yeah, by the end of season 2, it's
I don't know what episode I'm on, but I think I'm on episode like 4 or 5.
Yeah, you get...
Because when Gentleman Caller leaves the room, or when he's not here, he's not always here. He does have a job and other life things.
A liar.
He's busy. He's busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I watch it. And he'll come in the room and he was like, go ahead and finish. And he'll play a game on his phone or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, he says he's playing a game on his phone. We both know he's watching
porn. All the porn.
He's watching the show and he's asking me questions. He's like, who's that?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? I was like, oh, so she sold her daughter. No, you have no idea. No. So this guy, he's actually the killer. We don't know this yet, but I know this. You know?
My husband used to do that when I was watching Teen Mom. He'd walk in and audibly bitch about how I was watching Teen Mom. But then he would stand there in the background watching it and being like, wait, who's this guy? It's like, you just said that it's a dumb show. Leave. Why are you standing here?
Used to do that about Big Brother.
Yeah.
He would complain about Big Brother. He was like, this is a bunch of terrible people all shut in the same house. And then he would just stand there.
Yeah. Then why are you watching it?
I was like, I like her. I like him. I don't like that person. I don't like that person. And then he would stand there and he was like, I mean, these terrible people. I'm like, then leave the
then
room.
Why are you watching it?
Like, or sit down, have a seat.
Yeah.
Make me some popcorn first, then have a seat.
Yeah. If you want to sit here and enjoy it, fine. But
I mean, go for it.
Don't ruin my enjoyment of the show.
Exactly.
Anyway, Harlots, fucking amazing. Like,
great show. I mean, I knew I was going to circle back around because, okay, so my goal is, so I hate my job. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
I liked, you know how we talked about my previous job with Work Bitch? I loved the job itself. I liked the other people I worked with. I liked the things. I hate my job from beginning to end, everything about my job.
Yeah.
The company sucks because the last one, I liked the company I worked for. I liked the people I worked with, whatever. You know, this is not an indication of my work ethic or me in a job. This is the company is terrible. The way they treat their employees is terrible. The benefits suck. The pay sucks. You know, everything sucks. I'm a single mom. And so I feel stuck. I feel like I climbed into a box and I taped myself in.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
oh, God.
So I'm watching Harlots all the time while I'm supposed to be working.
Yeah.
But, I hate it.
I've got just crushing.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do for a job and be a single mom and do all these things. I honestly do not know what my options are at this point.
I've got some crushing financial realities closing in on me. And it's one of those things where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to a conference this weekend. I'll deal with it later. And now is becoming the later that I've been putting off. So now I'm like, fuck, I'm going to have to deal with this. And I don't know how I'm going to deal with it, but I can't just not deal with it.
You can always just pretend that it's not
happening.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems to be working for me so far.
That's what I've been doing so far, but apparently it gets to a point where you just can't do that anymore, which I had hoped I could go on indefinitely like that, but I guess that's not how it works.
The reality catches up on you real fast.
Yeah, it really does. I hate reality, which is why I love TV so much, because I can just pretend like I'm a harlot in 1750s London. So
okay. No, gross.
But have you seen the dresses they wear though? The colors.
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, they're just playing cards and they're just hanging around.
Yeah.
And how fun would it be to just dress up all the time?
I mean, yes,
but then I realized that you have to have someone help you dress.
Yeah.
Pretty much daily.
And the corsets it would be so uncomfortable.
Yeah. But the very first episode, and also I'm probably about as tall as Cherry.
Yeah.
Like that's how tiny I am.
Mm-hmm. But you would be adorable following me around, dressed exactly alike. So
that would be cute.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just putting that out there. That's probably about how tall I am.
Okay.
So I mean, she's probably a little shorter than me.
Yeah.
But maybe not. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm real short. So in the very, very first episode, they said that 1 in 5 women in that day and age had to sell sex to support themselves.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So it got me thinking how many people I knew and how many people, in my life and myself would have to resort to that in any other time period. I probably would.
Oh, I totally would.
But that's insane. 1 out of 5 women.
Mm-hmm. And interesting thing about Harlots, if you go, I think I watched it on YouTube, but there is a British documentary that talks about, they really did have a handbook of Harlots, which is where they got the idea for this show. Wow. There was a guy that every year, because in the very first episode of Harlots, they're looking through this little book, and that book actually existed. It came out like once a year or once every so often.
Yeah, they're reading about their qualities and what they bring to the table.
It's like the yellow pages for Harlots. Yeah. And somebody goes through and here's the one you want to see for if you want this type of thing. And here's the one you want to see if you want this type of. And so they're all looking to see kind of how they got rated in this book. And there is a fascinating documentary.
Wow.
I think on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure it's just called the Harlots Handbook. And it's worth watching.
I like how they go into the psychological damage from it too.
Yeah.
Like they're not pulling punches in this show.
No, it's very...
And none of the sex is sexy.
No.
None of it.
No.
Because the thing is it's showing it for what it actually is. There's sex in that show.
Oh, yeah.
And there's nudity, but none of it is sexy because it's not romanticized or made glamorous. It's filthy. It's
gross.
Intense,
you can imagine
rapey,
how stinky it probably is.
It's awful. And there's nothing that I'm like, man, that looks hot. Or I wish I was there. Because they show the guys just grunting away and the woman's face is just like bored.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one thing that really got me thinking. And that was,
and then you saw a shiny object and you got completely distracted.
Right. No, it was talking about the emotional damage. So there's this one woman who she's overtouched. She's been a harlot since she was 13 or something. She's overtouched. She doesn't want to be touched by people. No one ever touches her.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of, she's a madam at this point. No one touches her.
Yep.
Every time you see her with they call them culls.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you see her with someone, she's the dominatrix. She does not touch them other than harmfully.
I never even noticed that.
It's Nancy.
Well, I mean, I know who you're talking about, but I
really like that she's just, her character, it makes sense to me that she's been overtouched her entire life, probably molested when she was a child.
Oh, yeah.
Sold to the whorehouse when she was young, raised in the brothel.
Mm-hmm.
If it's on her terms, she is not going to be touched.
Yeah. And
she doesn't even hug her friends. She doesn't touch anyone.
No. And
she does not touch anyone. And I like that because that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I
really like, she's my favorite character on the show.
I love her.
I pay attention.
She's fucking awesome.
She's the one that you ask to help you bury the body.
Yes, literally.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and I like how they...
And she looks like a pirate, which is cool.
I like how they really highlight in that show the stigma, that all these women are called harlots and that once they've done this even one time, they're basically untouchable and they can't be in society and all this. It's like,
but everybody, all the men in society are like, there's the one guy that, she's one of the women told, she's a madam. She has one of the biggest brothels in the city.
Yeah.
And she was like, are you trying to get me hung?
Yeah.
Or what, are you trying to get me arrested? And the guy comes aside later and he was like, so tell me about your house.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of ladies do you have? And he's the freaking magistrate.
Yeah, like all the men are complicit in this and are using this system and at the same time telling women how filthy and disgusting they are.
Because it's a puritanical society unless you're benefiting from it.
Well, and a lot of times it's these women are being raped. It's not even their choice and they're ruined now. Even they get raped one time and they're just ruined. Their reputation is gone and it's just disgusting. And I would love to say the world has come a long way, and in some ways it has. But we still got a lot of fucking problems.
Well, yes. There's when you live in or you're raised in abstinence religions and you're taught abstinence only sex education, it kind of leads to these problems of, well, you shouldn't have made the choice to have,
Yeah.
if you had kept your legs together, you wouldn't be in the predicament you're in.
Yeah.
Or
the idea that if you have sex one time, you're ruined. You're dirty, you're
damaged.
gross, and you're irreparable.
Or Mormon culture is licked cupcake. No one wants to eat the licked cupcake.
Or chewed gum. Chewed
gum, licked cupcake, nailed board. I've seen that one too.
Oh my God.
You pull the nails out, but the damage is still there.
Oh, that's such a gross analogy.
I've seen that one too. Yeah, I was taught that one.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah, but meanwhile, the men are happily utilizing the services of the harlots, and they don't have any consequences from it. They can stay in society, and oh God.
Well, I asked my brother, I asked my ex-husband, I asked my, bunch of people, other men that I knew that were raised Mormon, and if they had the same lessons when they were young adults and teenagers and stuff, or like middle school and teenagers. Never, not once. It was all females that were taught that.
Yeah. Wow.
So
it's just society's fucked up, and I don't even know what else to say about that. So
I mean, it kind of goes all together. The Harlots,
the Handmaid's Tale. They both start with H's. So
they're both on Hulu.
Hulu. I didn't even. Oh my God, you're so smart, Amy. I didn't even think of that. They're both on Hulu, and Hulu starts with an H, and both of them start with an H. So
Miranda's on Hulu too. I'm just saying.
Yes, I need to go check that out after this. So
just.
Hulu's pretty fucking amazing. There's a lot. Oh, speaking of which, there is a new documentary on Hulu called Crime Plus Punishment. You have to watch that.
Okay.
And anybody listening, go on Hulu, look for Crime Plus. So not the word plus, just the plus symbol, Crime Plus Punishment. It's a documentary about the NYPD and these 12 whistleblowers.
Would Gentleman Caller like it?
Yes. Does he like documentaries about police corruption?
He's a nerd, so probably.
He would like it. It's basically about, how they used to have quotas, and you would have to have so many arrests, as a policeman, you were forced to arrest X many people, and they technically outlawed it in 2010, but they're still doing it. And so they have these 12 whistleblowers who are still policemen, and they are filing a lawsuit against the NYPD because they're claiming that they're still being forced to do quotas. And they have all of this undercover audio that they've recorded of their supervisors telling them you need to go out and get this many arrests. And it's fascinating. I found it last night and I could not stop watching it. So it's like an hour and a half long and totally worth the watch. It's fantastic. But yeah, so I don't know. We've been talking for like an hour, and I don't know if we've made any points at all about The Handmaid's Tale.
Pretty sure we haven't. Other than it's great.
It's really good, and you should totally watch it.
But if they've already listened this far, we've already said spoilers.
That's true. So who was this show really for then? Because, I mean, if they liked it, we didn't.
Who is any show for?
That's a very good point. Yeah.
It's clearly just for... It's just ourselves, just hanging out.
That's true. I went on Atheist Talk this weekend, so that's another thing everyone should check out. Go look up Atheist Talk. I was on Sunday morning, and Hertzie was just like, want to come on the show? I didn't really have any plans. So we started out talking about one thing, and then every single segment, when we would come back from commercial, we would just start talking about whatever we had talked about during the commercial break. So there's like 4 segments of totally random topics. So when Maddie got it to do the editing, she ended up titling it Potpourri, which made total sense. It's just...
That's cute.
4 totally random. I think we talked about Catholic hospitals, organizing in rural areas. What percentage of hospitals are Catholic run now? Is it like 80-something%? Nationally, I don't know. What I do know is that
it's pretty high.
The percentage of hospitals in my town that are Catholic is 100%.
I think nationwide,
it's very high.
I'm guessing on the number. I'm not sure. I just know that it's pretty high, and it's in my city, it's Catholic or Methodist or Presbyterian. And that's pretty much like,
yeah.
I mean, obviously out of those 3, I'm going to go to the Methodist hospital.
Obviously.
For all of my abortions needs.
Well, Methodists love abortion, don't they? So they can do all the abortions for you. Am I wrong about that? Yeah. Now, we have one hospital in town and it's Catholic. So you're pretty much stuck. If you have to go to the hospital, you got to go see the Catholics. Yeah. Handmaid's Tale, here we come.
Right?
Yay.
All right, do you want me to wrap up, or do you want to say, Patreons?
And
should we do a question?
Yeah, we can do a quick question. Let me do the patron super super quick. I'll click back onto that. So we are so thankful for all of our wonderful patrons and thankful that we got over that 25 patron mark so we could do the drunk cast.
That was a lot of fun.
So yes, a lot of fun. Once we get 25 more and get to 50, we'll get drunk for you again. So $1 a month. Just $12 a year. That's like hardly anything. Come on, you can do that. We've got the Dumb All Over podcast, Ryan, Kuiper Belt Transport Space. I'm going to fuck that up every single time because I don't know how to say it. Jake, Jesse, I have been interacting with on Twitter a lot. He's fucking awesome. And he bought one of our mugs. He bought the one that says,
Thank you.
She's got style. She's got grace. She's got resting bitch face. So yes,
I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay. I remember who sent that to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I made 2 of those and put them on our Etsy shop, and he bought one. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. So we've also got Encyclopedia Dumb America, Wendy, and the By Any Means podcast. So thank you all for that.
Thank you.
At the $2 a month level, we've got my friend Sarah, who's awesome. Veralaine, who apparently I pronounced that correctly the last time I found out via Twitter. So happy about that. I think I'm still pronouncing it correctly, Veralaine. If not, let me know. Andy, Rebecca, Kimberly, and Nathan Dickey, thank you so much. The lone patron at the $3 a month tier is the Wayward Willis podcast, which you should never, ever listen to.
You're going to get sick in some way.
Did you know that they've been making fun of us on every episode? I started listening because I got really bored and ran out of things to listen to. And they've been making fun of us on like every fucking episode. So don't listen to them. They're garbage people. At the $4 a month tier, we've got Elvin Engineer, who I believe is also a certain person from the Wayward Willis podcast. So they keep throwing money at us, which means we're definitely winning the feud, but whatever. Dr. Dylan, Medical Detective, and Larry Yellingman, thank you so much for your contributions. We were also on Man Yells at News, both of us, within the last 2 weeks.
We were.
So go check out that. Also, if I forgot to mention it on the last episode, I added a page to our website that has a list of all of our guest appearances on other shows. So if you head over to delightfulbitchcraft.com, look for Secular Soup Podcast, and then the subpage Soupy Guest Appearances, you'll find links to all this shit. So thank you so much for the $4 a month. $5 a month level, Marissa, Alexa, McCool, thank you so much. Silly Goose, Amy's Boring Sister, Yesh, Jerry, and Alan, you are all fucking amazing. The $10 a month is the soup bowl level. So if you pledge at $10 a month or more, you will get a personalized soup bowl with or without dicks drawn on it. Totally up to you. Or, I mean, it's up to you, or it depends on if I like you or not. So mostly up to me because I'm doing all the drawing. So Randall, our newest patron, thank you so much. Dwayne, who has got his bowl now. Alice, who I saw this weekend at the Secular Women Work Convention and whose bowl I got to touch up because it was the stuff was coming off. It's a long story. So thank you so much for that. And Rich, 16th favorite Rich at this point. I don't know. What do you think?
Rude. My fourth.
Fourth? Wow. You really like him.
Just because I'm nicer than you.
Well, everybody's nicer than me. $20 a month. Ashley, our superstar, wonderful favorite patron.
She's awesome.
Who we found out on the Drunkcast has fantastic taste in wall decor. I do remember that much.
She does.
She had some amazing fucking pictures on her wall. So we loved that. So thank you so much. If you would like to be one of those patrons and maybe get a bowl with dicks drawn on it, or at least get early access to our episodes and get your name called out on the show, head over to patreon.com/secularsoup and you'll find all of our soupy levels. And let us know if you have ideas for rewards that you think would be good, that would maybe entice you to sign up as a patron. You know, we're all about quid pro quo and scratching each other's backs here. So
I'm excited.
Give us the monies. So give me a number and I'll pick a question out of this book here.
Ooh, 4?
4. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. 4. If you could spend 1 year in perfect happiness, but afterward would remember nothing of the experience, would you do so? And if not, why not?
That's really hard because you don't remember any of it. And the part of what we do in life is grow and learn from our experiences.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I'd do it. The problem with the question is it doesn't really clarify. So you have this one, is the alternative having a really shitty year and also not remembering it? Or
Maybe.
Like-
I mean, or we're just like living in quasi subpar.
Or if it's like, if
happiness.
it's just that 1 year that you're not going to remember, but the rest of your life you're going to remember. I mean, I would take being happy in the moment and not remembering it.
I don't know. Okay, so I'm really, really happy right now, but I want to remember a year later.
Yeah.
Like I want to remember things later from now. I don't know.
So do I generally, but I also want to be happy.
I'm going to say no.
Okay. I'm going to say yes, because I like instant gratification of being happy right fucking now. And if I don't remember it later, okay.
I won't. I'm going to say no, because I want to be able to remember and learn and grow from moments in my life.
Because you want to grow as a person and shit.
Apparently.
Boring.
I know. That's why I'm in the situation I'm in.
Boring.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I did this to me.
You did. It's all your fault. Okay. So now we can close up, and I still feel like I'm forgetting to mention something, but I think the thing I'm forgetting to mention is all of the context and insight on the Handmaid's Tale that I had been thinking about before this and just forgot about as soon as we started recording. So
such a good show.
Yes.
If you haven't listened, we really didn't ruin anything for you, honestly.
Yeah, it'll still be good.
We really didn't.
No.
I mean, it's still a great show. If you've read the book, you already knew the things. It's worth watching. And Harlots, there's boobs.
Yeah,
so
lots of boobs on Harlots.
And you can watch it topless. So win.
Win for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, one more thing that I just thought of that I'll regret if I don't say. We want to say thank you to John at the Brand X podcast for having us on his last episode after we broke up his entire show.
We really did break up that.
We are awful people
friendship.
And we feel bad, but we got to be on his last ever episode and it was good and we got good feedback on it and we had fun.
Is it our first relationship, our first official relationship breaking up?
I think it is. I think it's the first official bromance that we personally broke up. So I'm not mad. On to Wayward Willis and Dumb All Over after this. We got to get those fuckers all broken up.
We need to put them in our crosshairs.
That shouldn't be that hard. I feel like those two are.
Is it Tom and Austin? Is that who it is?
Tom and Austin are hanging on by a thread. All we got to do is snip that thread, and they'll hate each other. So, goals. #goals.
Squad goals.
Yes. Let's wrap this bitch up.
All right. And that's all we've got for now. Thanks to all our fabulous listeners who put up with us droning on week after week. If you enjoy our delightful bitchcraft, please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and send us all your monies on Patreon. You can find us on those platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard. This week, your donations will go to a floating beer pong table.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, I
heard that LARPing thing from last week, by the way. So don't think you got that by me.
I don't even remember.
Yep.
If you want to tell the world how awful this episode was, join our Secret Soup Talk Facebook group. If you want to tell us to fuck off personally, you can send an email to secularsouppodcast@gmail.com. Please rate and review us on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help us spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, tell your friends. As always, we'll leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular soup creed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.